of the world, now I'm living. And the good just gets better, keeps on giving. Not even close to the end, it's just beginning. Life is getting lighter while the days are getting brighter, yeah.
Hey there, thanks so much and welcome back. This is part 4 of a 4-video series that I've created for you. My name is Ann Perry and I am here to discuss with you numerology and the karmic debt of 19-1. So the key to living with the 19-1 karmic debt is leading by example. So what the heck is this all about? What does it mean to you if you have the karmic debt of 19-1? What are some of the signs and how can you best work with it? Let's take a look. So let's talk first of all about introducing karmic debts. Let's talk about the generality of karmic debts. So in numerology, there's 2 different types of karmic numbers. Okay, so the first one that we talk about is the karmic debt, which holds the big kahuna, right? This is the big one. This is the one that's in your face, the one that you're going to feel the most. And the karmic lessons are the ones that kind of run along in the background. You don't feel them quite so much. The karmic lessons come from missing letters in your full birth name on your birth certificate, where karmic debt numbers are specific numbers that can appear in your birth date. They can appear as your life path number, your expression number, your heart's desire number. You can see them in cycles. There's all kinds of different places that they can hide in your numerology chart. So those numbers include the numbers 13, 14, 16, and 19. So the karmic debt number is sometimes referred to as a testing number, a warning number, a hidden number, a pain in the ass kind of a number, okay? But we got to remember that we brought this number with us. We chose to overcome some karma that we were responsible for in a previous lifetime. So basically the karmic debt number is indicating that you're here paying back for bad behavior in a previous lifetime. Some of the actions that you performed in a previous lifetime might not have been so good. Maybe you're a bit of a badass, as I call them. But, you know, it's okay. You're here to make amends for that. So when we see any of these numbers showing up in a person's chart, it's a message that you're working from issues from the past, but it also tells me that you're somebody who's an older soul, okay? Because you've been here. You've done that, right? You've got a few t-shirts, you kicked the can around a few times, and you're coming back to do it again. And you have chosen bravely, dare I say, to come forward and work on a karmic debt that you are here to overcome. So an example of a karmic debt, and I apologize if you've seen my previous videos, this will be a bit repetitive. You might want to skip right by this, but for those of you who have not seen it, here's an example of a karmic debt and how it can show up. So we're looking here at the birth date of March 23rd of 1985. So we're going to break it down this way. We know that March is the 3rd month, so it's just a single digit. It's number 3, so we just leave it alone. The 23rd date, we're going to add 2 and 3 together. It equals 5. Then we're going to add 1985 together. 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 5 equals 23, and 2 and 3 equals 5. So we're going to add those 3 numbers together. 3 plus 5 equals 13. So we know that in this particular case, this person born on March 23rd of 1985 holds a karmic debt in the position of the life path number. So you could keep adding 1 plus 3 equals 4 because the big lesson that they're here to learn is the 4. But the fact that this came up as a number 13 says we leave it alone. We leave it up as the 13-4. We do that because we want to cause attention to the fact that this is a karmic debt. Okay, we don't want to just blend it right down to a 4. We want to exemplify the fact that this is a karmic debt that we're working on. Now remember that karmic debts can be seen in the life path number. They can be seen in the expression number, the heart's desire number, the birthday number. They can show up in cycles in your chart. And not everyone is going to have a karmic debt showing up. But this doesn't mean you don't have any karma that you're working on. It just simply means that there is no karma associated with the 13, 14, 16, or 19. So don't think you're off scot-free if you don't have any karmic debt showing up in your chart. It's not that easy. So karmic debt of 19-1. Those with the 19 karmic debt have to learn about independence and the proper use of power. So the independence we see here in the number 1 on either side, right? So you'll be forced to stand up for yourself time and time again, and will often be shown standing by yourself, right? There'll be lots of situations, sometimes self-imposed situation that cause you to stand by yourself because the 19-1 has a really hard time asking for help. They have a hard time raising their hand to say, hey guys, I don't have all the answers. You think you could give me a hand here? They stubbornly will resist help. 19-1s have a tendency to really resist asking for help. So difficulties will be faced and overcome through personal struggles that you'll experience through your life. Your independence is actually self-imposed. You simply don't want to listen to other people or to accept the help or advice from other people because you have this severe need to be independent. But you know, even the guy on an island all by himself could use a little help every now and again. So the 19 karmic debt can often become a self-imposed prison if you don't open up to the reality of interdependence and the mutual need for love. Okay? So what exactly is the 19-1 karmic debt here to master? If you've brought this forward with you, what the heck is it you're trying to master? The 19-1 is here to master the lesson relating to the one on the other side of it. Okay, so you see, whenever we have a slash here, it indicates that there are sub-lessons to the main lesson. Okay, the 1 is the main lesson, but you still have to learn the additional 1, God forbid, and also the 9. Those are referred to as sub-lessons. And remember, guys, I'm not talking about, if you think I'm kind of putting the number 19-1 down, and that that this video might sound a little on the negative side, it's because this is about lessons. This is not about your strengths and your talents and your gifts and all that good stuff. We're talking about karmic debts here. So I'm not trying to point fingers at the 19-1s. I'm not trying to paint them with a bad brush, but we are trying to illuminate what the heck it is you're here to learn. So the 9 emphasizes taking the focus off of themselves. The 19-1 has a tendency to focus on themselves. They want to do really well. They're leaders, right? The 1, they're leaders. They want to come forward and do the very best they can, but they tend to get a little self-absorbed sometimes. So the trick is to take the focus off of themselves while placing it on someone else with an attitude of selfless service. How do we know that? Because the 9 in here is all about being of selfless service. This is about being the humanitarian. This is not about me being the best I can be. Look at me, look at me. This is about me helping somebody else, right? Pushing them up the ladder, helping them to succeed, okay? Allow them to succeed. In that way, their success is a reflection of my success. I feel good when I can help people. This is what the 19-1 is here to do. So the 1 relates to creativity. It relates to confidence and originality and leadership. So it's developing confidence to be the leader who can act on selfless service, who doesn't have to have the focus and the limelight on themselves to say, look at me, aren't I wonderful? Because that's what you kind of did in the previous lifetime, right? And that kind of didn't end so well for you. So their mission is to overcome their bad behavior as hard-ass leaders in a previous lifetime. The 19-1 was a badass leader. Make no mistake about it. The 19-1 is somebody who climbed up that corporate ladder, stomped on people like bugs, made them feel really bad, made the light shine just on them, and so they ended up being by themselves, right? And sometimes being under the limelight all by yourself is no fun at all. So we have to make sure that in this lifetime, the 19-1 realizes that they're meant to be leaders. They're meant to shine. There's no question about that. But the way you shine is to put other people ahead of yourself, not be worried about your own image, so to speak. So you're here to handle people with integrity and to lead with gentle persuasion. Again, their success is my success needs to be the adage. So when it comes, when it comes up as a life path number, where the 19-1 is in the place of the life path number, remember the life path number is the big lesson number. So the 19-1 can often have vision, but experience self-imposed obstacles to get there, right? They tend to, sometimes they don't rise to the occasion of being the leader. Remember, that's the 1, right? So sometimes they'll become a little bit codependent, is an example. So that becomes an obstacle for them to be able to become the leader that they want to be. He often confuses independence with self-centeredness, believing that a heavy hand is good management. You've all worked for those guys before, pummel them with a stick and they'll perform better. If I'm really tough on them all the time, that's how I get results. Hell no, right? God knows. I've worked for one of those guys before. Adios amigo. I was out of there. So the 19-1 can often act selfishly and domineering, likely due to confusion about what a real good leader really is. Maybe this is something that they were brought up with. Maybe this is the conditioning that they received as a child. Maybe this is some kind of legacy they're trying to live up to. Maybe this is the way that Dad always led, and he had a really successful business, so I have to do it this way, right? This person can also become very codependent, which is the opposite of being independent. Remember that the life path number is the big lesson that we're coming to learn here, guys. Now, if it comes up in the expression number, those with the 19-1 expression number, remember the expression number comes from your full name on your birth certificate. When we calculate the numeric vibration of all the letters in your birth name. brings in your talents and your gifts. But those with the 19-1 expression number may have difficulty expressing their talents in a way that could really benefit them. Again, they can come across really powerful and strong, and it's their way or the highway kind of thing, and it alienates them from other people who could maybe be of benefit to them, and they could be of benefit to them. He also becomes codependent and weak sometimes. Others might not value his amazing gifts because of that. They're seeing that weaker side. He's not rising to the occasion. He can be open to be judged due to his aggressive demeanor. So the 19-1s tend to be bigger than life. They are often actually quite large people, to be honest. They can quite often be very tall, very large people. Not always, but that seems to be quite common. Now, the 19-1, you got to know, one of the keys with the 19-1 is the 19-1 typically has a real concern for their image. They don't want to look stupid, right? They don't want to be embarrassed. If you're going to take a 19-1 out to a social occasion and you've told them that it's a, jeans and t-shirt kind of thing, and they arrive there and it's a black tie event, you're going down, right? Because they are not going to take kindly to that. They do not like to be embarrassed. They don't like to be discovered for not having all the answers, because they feel that they are the leaders. They aspire to be the leaders. They want to be in control, right? So the last thing they want to be is embarrassed. So, one of the stories I often tell about being a 19-1 is this. Let's say you're a 19-1 and you are a military leader and you're leading your men through a field. Okay, you've got a whole bunch of you guys behind you. So you're going up through the field and you get your radio pack on, your radio goes off, and it's your commanding officer, and he's like, hey buddy, just gotta let you know that, when you go up over that crest of the hill, see that crest of the hill there? When you go up over that crest of the hill, there's a whole bunch of the enemies right on the other side of that hill, and they're about to blow you guys to smithereens. So you'd better come up with a plan really quick or you're all gonna die. Have a nice day. And he hangs up. Meanwhile, the 19-1 is like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't have any answers. I don't know. This is coming up so fast. I don't have a sweet clue. But the 19-1 doesn't want to tell the men that they don't have any idea as to what to do. They want to show the bravado. They want to be proud. They're too embarrassed to say that they don't have all the answers. What the 19-1 should be doing is reaching out to the men and saying, hey guys, we've got a bit of a situation going on here. Do you think we could collectively come together as a team and maybe come up with a solution to this? Because if we don't, it's not going to end well for us, right? Meanwhile, the guy, they're embarrassed to ask for the help. But on the other side of that coin, the guys that they're asking are going, are you kidding me? You're asking for my help? You're asking for my input? You're asking for my opinion? Yes, of course I'll give it to you. Are you kidding me? I've so respected you so long, as being the leader, but the fact that you valued me enough to ask for my opinion, I'm all over that. Of course I'll help you, right? But the 19-1 doesn't know that. They're not expecting that, right? So you can see where this brings in a different form of leadership. Now the 19-1, when he's asking for help, he's kind of allowed himself to be a little bit vulnerable. He's asking for the help. That's real leadership, because he's giving those guys the opportunity to shine and to be a part of the equation here, right? Now, when it shows up in the Heart's Desire number, when the 19-1 Heart's Desire attempts to express their deepest desires, others might see him as self-serving with ulterior motives. He's often codependent, and the codependency will be easier for other people to see his weaknesses. The 19-1 has a desire to be dominant in a relationship, so this can prove to be a big problem for those who don't like this kind of approach, right? So if you've got somebody who is maybe a 28-1, okay, that's also somebody with a strong need for leadership, coupled with somebody who's a 19-1, there could be a collision waiting to happen here, especially in the Heart's Desire. Remember, this is not the lesson number we're talking about, the life path number. This is not the expression number. This is a Heart's Desire number. This is the warm and fuzzy place, okay? This is where we want to nurture really healthy relationships. But when the 19-1 comes into play, sometimes they come across a little too strong, a little too dominant, a little bit too much of a need to be in control of the relationship. So that can produce really negative results. Now, if it shows up as a birthday number, this is somebody that the 19-1s are very creative. They're very independent. They're very much the leaders. The leadership comes from the 1 and the 9 as well. Executive abilities. They have strong personal needs, very big desires. They want to do well. They're very much really good entrepreneurs. The 19-1, when I see it in the Heart's Desire position, that's somebody who really desires to be self-employed. They don't really want to work for somebody else. They're way too creative for that. They're too big a leader for that. They have huge vision. That double one energy on either side of that 9 causes them to want to be big leaders. But the 9 says, if they're acting in the positive side of this, if they're really kicking that karmic debt to the curb, the 9 says, I would really love to be able to put a paycheck in people's hands every week. I would love to be able to reward people for a job well done. I would love to lead them so that they can be successful, right? So they're hardworking, they're very original thinkers, and they make great entrepreneurs. And so that's it. I hope that I was able to offer you a little bit of a different insight into the 19 ones. There's some positive aspects, there's some negative aspects, but at the end of the day, it's a karmic debt. You guys, if you have it means that you weren't such a great actor in the previous lifetime, so you're making up for it in this lifetime, okay? So it's going to come across a little bit on the negative side, but that's okay. You can overcome it. So if you'd like to post a question down below, I will do my very best to answer it for you. In the meantime, you can check out AnnPerryNumerologist.com. I do offer personal readings. Would love to connect with you there. I have a really cool course on Udemy.com. It's called Uncover Your Karmic Lessons and Karmic Debts with Numerology. You might want to check that out. It's free. And I have a Facebook page that I would love for you to join and follow me on. Please subscribe. I'd really appreciate that as well. If you have any other suggestions for any other videos you'd like for me to create, would love to hear from you as well. Hoping you're having a great day, guys. Take care. Thanks now. Bye for now.